there are 1,687 miles between Eugene, Oregon and Omaha, Nebraska. And after one of the most historic and unexpected postseason runs, Oregon baseball could have had the chance to make it back to the College World Series for the first time since 1954. A whiteout at Penn State is one of the loudest, toughest, and most electric atmospheres in all of college football. And tomorrow, Oregon quarterback Dante Moore will make his first start in front of over 100,000 fans, all cheering against him. But head coach Dan Lanning and his teammates couldn't be more confident in their QB1. Oregon State is back in the College World Series for the first time since 2018. The last time the Beavers played in Omaha, they took home a national championship. And although this year's team doesn't have as much experience playing on this big stage, the Beavers do have experience traveling and playing on the road. The Oregon men's basketball team got a little taste of what their future is going to look like in the Big Ten, getting an overtime win against Michigan on Saturday. When you saw those quarterbacks announcing that they would also be returning, what was your initial reaction? The Ducks are Orange Bowl champions for the first time in program history as Oregon's defense showed up big in the first quarterfinal game of 2026, shutting out Texas Tech 23-0.
It's about 11 guys executing. That's how you get an opportunity to create plays like that. And I think when we pull up this film and we watch it, we're going to see 11 guys playing the same call. You know, we knew their tempo would be an issue. So ultimately, we want to be able to get the call in fast and let our guys line up. I thought we did a really good job of that. I thought Coach LaPoy did a great job of calling the game, and our defensive coaches preparing them. You know, I feel like it was probably faster in practice than it was in the game, which is ultimately what we wanted.
That's the standard for our defense. Obviously, we understand that from JMU game, that wasn't our standard. So us just being able to showcase that, us being able to play for each other was the main thing, and obviously the turnovers was great for our defense. So that was the outcome we wanted right there.
To do it against a really good Texas Tech team in that fashion is, you know, pretty surreal and feels really, really good. But I'm already kind of on to next week. Not gonna lie, I'm ready. I'm ready to go for another game.
Oregon's last shutout was against Purdue last season, but as excited as the Ducks are and want to celebrate this win, they know the job's not done yet, as Oregon will face the winner of Alabama and Indiana in the Peach Bowl in Atlanta, Georgia next Friday, January 9th. Oregon State is coming off a thrilling walk-off victory in OSU's first game of the College World Series, but the Beavers don't have a lot of time to celebrate. Oregon State's next opponent is arguably the hottest team in college baseball right now, as number 13 Coastal Carolina comes into tomorrow's matchup on a 24-game win streak.
And that's definitely something special when a team has won that many games in a row. I mean, you got to do things right. Winning streaks can get snapped at any given time, and new streaks can start at any given time. But based on all the things that we've seen, and everyone across the country has seen what they can do, that there's a big reason why they won so many games.
I've always been somewhat of a fan of Coastal. I think they play great baseball. Them being kind of a grittier team, similar type of baseball to us, good fundamentals. I'm excited. It's going to be really good baseball from my understanding, and when you get up there and compete, that's where I have the fun.
Ethan Kleinschmidt will start on the mound tomorrow for Oregon State, and Coastal Carolina will start their 6'8" ace, Jacob Morrison. Oregon State and Coastal Carolina will go head-to-head tomorrow at 4 p.m. Pacific time on ESPN. But reporting on the College World Series in Omaha, I'm Erin Slinde. Well, it turns out when you invest in a program, it pays off, as Dan Lanning gave Oklahoma State head coach Mike Gundy the biggest loss of his career at OSU with a 66-point victory over the Cowboys. And while this program is and will always be about blocking out the noise, the Ducks did admit that the comments made by Gundy earlier in the week did add fuel to the fire to not just beat Oklahoma State by a little, but by a lot.
I felt like these guys wanted the chance to go prove who they are. And I'm sure I got a lot of respect for Coach Gundy, but his press conference, he's probably saying, "See, I told you so," right? Like that's probably what his comment is. But that doesn't change the way we have to play to be a winning football team.
You attack our head coach, it's like attacking, my dad. To be honest, it's like you're attacking a family member, and I feel like as a whole team, it's kind of, it hit close to home, and we knew that every week that it's always going to be some trash talk happening. But for him to attack Phil, him to attack Coach Lannon, or attack our team, it was kind of personal. And this whole week we just used that as fire to make sure that we push ourselves and score 69 points, and we did that.
And Oregon used that motivation to spread the wealth on offense as 8 different players found the end zone in the win over Oklahoma State.
To have that many threats that can, be dangerous on the perimeter and block really hard, like that's something I think you'll continue to see from our guys. Like that's gives us a chance to be really good.
And now Oregon will look to protect that investment as the Ducks enter Big Ten play. Oregon will face Northwestern to open up conference play on the road next week. But for now, reporting from Watson Stadium, I'm Erin Slinde. Getting drafted into the MLB is a goal that every young baseball player has, including South Eugene grad Bryce Betcher. But he couldn't pass up being a part of Oregon football's journey to a possible national championship.
It's honestly, the decision's a little bigger than me. I'm from here. I bleed green and yellow, and obviously I want to play professional baseball. That's something that's in my future, but I knew that I only have once-in-a-lifetime opportunity here at Oregon to play football, especially joining the Big Ten, the squad we got this year. I was super pumped to be a part of that, so ultimately that's kind of what came into play. I just wanted to come back and play for my little city one more time.
Right when he got drafted, just calling him, shooting him a text, like, bro, I'm so proud of you, because I know how hard he works. I know that, he's a guy that, has a lot of passion for the game of football, but, just his passion for baseball as well. So
You get so excited for a player that does so many things right, and for those opportunities to come his way. And, obviously had an outstanding season for Waz. Waz and I are able to work really well hand in hand together about what that looks like in the offseason. Bryce is the guy that would love to go do football practice for 2 hours, turn around and go play a baseball game, and then go back to the weight room. So for the hard work that he does and how it's, played out, I'm really excited for him and excited to see what he does for us this season.
Since I've been playing two sports at Oregon, every time I come into a new season, it's a new year. It really doesn't matter what you do in the past. And obviously I'm down on the depth chart. I'm not a 1 right now in football, and I wasn't a 1 in baseball to start the year. And every year it's been like that. So I always have a chip on my shoulder and I always have something to prove. And that's honestly where I'm most comfortable, when I, have something to prove. So I'm pumped to show everyone that I am going to be that one, and I'm excited to get the season rolling.
If you ask Sheldon grad quarterback Brock Thomas if his first career touchdown for Oregon would be to an offensive lineman, he might reply something along the lines of something the Grateful Dead once said: once in a while you can get shown the light in the strangest places if you look at it right.
I did not expect it to be that, but I was really excited. It was really cool to be out there with all the guys. They put their trust in me. I felt confident. We were just out there. It felt really good. It was a lot of fun.
Thomas came in after the Ducks starting quarterback Dante Moore came out of the game with a bloody nose in the third quarter. The former Irish quarterback finished 4 for 4 with 46 yards, leading Oregon to a win over Wisconsin on Saturday night.
You never want to see a guy go down, but when that happens, you just get up, get a couple throws in, get the play call, go out there and just operate.
It's tough in a game like that. The ball's, obviously wet. It's raining, but to be able to get us in some of those checks, he made some tough runs. I thought Brock, did everything that we asked him to do in those moments.
Proud of that kid. He's, shown it in practice every single day. So it wasn't surprising when he came in, especially in a rain game, and performed like the way he did with that poise. There's a couple of big plays out of him, and I was pumped. I was sitting there on the sideline talking to Coach B. Mike, trying to go over adjustments, but I'm looking at that scoreboard, watching him play. So that was awesome.
The quarterback competition will continue through the Ducks' second bye of the season before hitting the road to face Iowa on November 8th. Reporting from Watson Stadium, I'm Erin Slinde. We already got to see a lot of players perform at the NFL Combine this year, but we got to see even more former Ducks take advantage of their final opportunity to show NFL scouts what they can bring to the next level at Oregon Pro Day.
A lot of familiar faces, a lot of hugs, and dap-ups, but it's a blessing. It was fun. Makes you miss it with these guys, and I don't know, just a lot of memories that go by, so I'm appreciative of it, and then of course the new journey coming up.
This was ultimately a blessing to come out here and really train for the 8 weeks that we put in, and all our guys are spread out all across the country training, and then we come back for one day where we basically trying to change our family life. So I mean, it's a real sentimental moment, but I mean, it's also like energetic, because it's like this is the last time this group is all going to be together under one roof.
After Oregon's season ended, the Ducks that declared for the draft went their separate ways to train and got to come back together one last time.
My little brother asked me, was I going to do like the on-field drill since I didn't at the Combine. I was like, yeah, I got to get out there with my guys one last time and, just rock the field and take the field with them. So it was awesome, man. I felt their energy. Kind of reminded me like of, practice, something like that during the season, so it was great.
For the players that stuck around when Dan Lanning took over the program to the players that decided to spend their final year of eligibility here at Oregon, all of them are grateful to say that they were a Duck.
I was just telling Mark, we're the end of an era, and it's starting to be a new age area with the generation. It's just crazy, but it's real crazy to think about how we the last one in the class and everybody else is gone. So
I mean, it's just only the strong survive.
I love these guys. I love this place, and Coach Lanning makes it easy for us to, just feel at home. And that's a huge thing once you're done playing at this level is, being able to come back and be around people you love.
Last year, the Ducks broke a program record with 8 selections in the NFL draft. They'll try and break that record again this year as the NFL draft is set to start on April 24th. Reporting from the Machofsky Center, I'm Erin Slinde. This week is Oregon football's Stomp Out Cancer Game, and as a part of the new Generation O collection, the Ducks revealed their new jerseys called Heroes, serving as a symbol for those who have fought and are fighting all kinds of cancer, including the doctors and nurses who are helping patients and fighting to find a cure.
It kind of sparked as soon as we got here. It was really cool that Nike reached out, about maybe being able to create something. And I know it was really important to my wife that it was something that really honored, all forms of cancer and the people that are surrounded by it. I think every single one of us have all been affected by that. So they took a really cool idea and turned it into something really neat. And I think it'll bring, great awareness and some much needed attention to a terrible disease.
The new Heroes jerseys were designed by Dan Lanning's wife, Sophia Landing, and their sons. Sophia's cancer ribbon color is yellow, represented in the color of the jerseys, as well as the other cancer colors shown in the logo, on the helmets, gloves, and on the tips of the cleats. Not only are these jerseys special to the Lanning family, but they're also special to the players and the fans.
I was really excited. We felt like as a group that this was going to be the perfect game to bring those out. My little sister, defeating cancer when she was young as well. So it means a lot to me as well, and I know it means a lot to a lot of people.
You always hear about the Ducks and flashy uniforms, but I think this is a little more than flashy. It has a bigger meaning behind it, which I think is really, really cool. You don't see it very often in college football, and the story behind Coach Lanning's wife and their kids that were able to help design that is really, really special. And I think us rocking against Michigan State can be an awesome event.
The Ducks are set to wear these special Stomp Out Cancer jerseys this week against Jonathan Smith and the Michigan State Spartans on Friday night. Kickoff is set for 6 p.m. Reporting from Autzen Stadium, I'm Erin Slinde. Back to you. After taking 7 years off, Burke Nelson decided it was time to make his return back to the golf course.
It's important to have passion in your life, and if you're good at something and you're passionate behind it and you can find a way to make money at it, I think you found the secret to happiness in life.
The 51-year-old now works for the golf company Orange Whip Trainer while conducting lessons and training to compete in this year's Senior U.S. Open as the only golfer from the state of Oregon.
It's a huge honor, because I still have a lot of colleagues that play golf actively, and so to be the only person from Oregon playing in this tournament, huge honor. So I'm super excited to represent the state in the Senior U.S. Open and hopefully make us proud.
Nelson's golf journey started at Pendleton Country Club, where he fell in love with the game and took it to the next level at Oregon State.
Growing up in Eastern Oregon, I didn't have a whole lot of opportunities to play tournament golf, and so I was lucky to get a position at Oregon State University. When I was on the golf team, I took advantage of that by going all-in golf, and so I practiced a ton. Fortunately, my game responded, and I played very, very well. And so that was a huge thrill for me to see my game elevate like that.
Nelson's commitment to the sport helped him become a Division I All-American at OSU, competing against golfers like Tiger Woods. But it wasn't until 2017 when Nelson realized he needed golf back in his life and set his sights on competing at the senior level. Last weekend, Nelson played in the Senior PGA Championship with and against the golfers he grew up admiring.
I'm playing among stars that I used to watch on TV forever and ever, and I'm just sitting there hitting balls next to them, putting next to them, talking to them, playing with them too, and it was an incredible experience.